Introduction to Fire Safety. Understanding simple rules can help us to do the right thing when we are faced with a fire emergency. Ensuring fire safety means understanding the set of practices which are intended to reduce the exposure to the risk of fire under any circumstances. Fire safety measures include all activities and behaviors which are intended to prevent the possibility of an uncontrolled fire. How to prevent and stop the spread of fire. Let's start by breaking the fire into its three main elements. Heat. Heat usually originates from people smoking, ill-maintained plant and equipment, hot work, neglected electrical safety or arson. Heat is occasionally inevitable, in which case it is important that this heat is kept away from fuel or that it's being carefully managed under a controlled environment. Fuel. Flammable materials. Fuel are materials that burn readily in a normal atmosphere. It's important that all these flammable materials are identified and that appropriate measures are taken to control them. You need to store these materials appropriately, and in appropriate quantities. Furthermore, you need to maintain good housekeeping. For extra volatile flammable materials, make sure that these are stored with extra precautions. Oxygen. The air we breathe contains till to 21% of oxygen. With just a small increase to say 23% oxygen, a fire will burn hotter and more fiercely. With just a little more oxygen in the air, a fire can become almost impossible to put out. If you've got any equipment that could be leaking oxygen, you need to ensure that these are safeguarded properly. How to prevent and stop the spread of fire. To stop a fire, one of the three elements must be removed. That is, if you take away the oxygen, the fire will suffocate. If you cool the fire down, it will lose heat and eventually go out. And if you remove the fuel, it will smolder out. You should only attempt to put out a fire if you are trained and confident enough to do so. Emergency response. It's of the utmost importance that you have clear emergency exits and a safety evacuation plan laid out. Your plan should include a clear passageway to all escape routes. Clearly marked escape routes that are as short and direct as possible. Enough exits and routes for all people to escape. Emergency doors that open easily. Emergency lighting where needed. Training for all employees to know and use the escape routes. A safe meeting point for staff. You should carry out at least one fire drill per year and record the results. These results must be kept as part of the fire safety and evacuation plan. Are you familiar with your work area evacuation plan? If not, ask.